the vertices were aligned correctly, then my runes should... Oh! This is impossible! It's easy for Hannig to write. Where in the void am I supposed to find Tenebrian tools? Even if the runes were glowing right, I still haven't sorted out the diagnostics.
The dwarven woman hums to herself as she works with total focus and concentration. Her ears twitch at your approach, but she does not turn to you.
Yes.
What's this, woman? I know a bomb when I see it. Out with it!
Ah, one of Lohar's, are you? You should know better than to stick your clumsy fat fingers in the Queen's secret operations.
Beast raises his fists in a rage. You're not sure whether he intends to crush the dwarf or the machine she's tinkering with. Beast's fists slam down hard onto the device. Shards fly from it in all directions, and a red light flickers on.
Looks like you've had some technical difficulties, eh?
I know what you look like. I'll report you. Queen Justinia will have vengeance.
As you approach the dwarven scientist, Ifan pulls you aside.
I recognize the device on the table there. I need to talk to her. Now.
You see Ifan in earnest conversation with the dwarven woman. All of a sudden, he pales and staggers backwards. The woman laughs, a tinkling sound like glass smashing on a stone floor.
You thought that was a rift portal? Lord, no, it's nothing of the sort. It's a special device that carries only a very special cargo. Specifically, death fog.
No. No. Lucian would never...
Ifan freezes with resolve, and a cold anger emanates from him. In one fluid move, he steps close to her, knife point to throat. Without a flicker of fear on her face, she smirks arrogantly back at him.
I wouldn't go there if I were you. I work directly for Queen Justinia, and she doesn't take kindly to meddlers. And to be honest, I've reached the end of my tether with what I can do here.
Ifan whips away his blade and walks off. A single bead of crimson blossoms at the scientist's throat. She glares after his receding form before turning back to her work.
Ruined! That brute! If the vertices were aligned correctly, then my runes should... Oh! This is impossible! Ruined! That brute! If the vertices were aligned correctly, then my runes should... Oh! This is impossible! Ruined! That brute! Even if the runes were glowing right, I still haven't sorted out the diagnostics. Ruined! That brute!
Made it all the way here, you creeping little maggots? Have you wriggled up to bow to me? Has Lohar sent you to beg forgiveness for his sins? My lord had faith. He came to me when Lohar failed the queen. And as a reward for my service, he has granted me his favor. He has granted me Mordus. Armies? Merely sheep with swords, minds that beg to be controlled. But Mordus is so much more than the power to have those beasts slaughter each other. And it is mine. By the Lord's grace, the power is mine.
Mercy! Mercy!
The Master Sorcerer throws up his pocked, cracked arms to defend himself as you step forward. The undead dwarf looks quickly over its shoulder, his gaze darting from shadow to shadow.
Of course! Of course! Anything! Just name it! What? Source?
The skeleton slowly lowers his arms, staring at you in disbelief.
Of course! You're God-woken! You seek power! Ultimate power! And I worried we could not find common ground. Yes, God-woken, I can teach you. If you swear you won't banish me to the afterlife. Praise be. Very well, God-woken. Listen carefully. Source and void, day and night, love and hate. One is meaningless without the other. To grow your source, to achieve your potential, you must embrace the void.
The grinning skeleton reaches into the folds of his robes and pulls out a small black mass. It's covered in veins and oozing pus.
Here, God-woken. Take a bite.
The thick pus explodes into your mouth, coating the inside of your skull. Biting down, you can feel the flesh is tough and gritty. You've never been so grateful to be missing a tongue. Deep within you, you feel something change. Your soul opens up, and you feel it swell as new channels for source start to flow through you. You swallow all you can, and despite the meat in your stomach, you feel a new space inside you, a potential waiting to be filled.
There, I held up my end of the bargain. I did as you asked, and now I'm getting as far from this cave as my bones will take me.
As he turns away, the skeleton hesitates. He turns back to you, thrusting a golden amulet into your hand.
Take this, and buy passage on a boat that will take you far, far away, God-woken. His eye is on you, and I don't want to be anywhere near you when he blinks.
With a last suspicious look, Mordus hunches over and hurries away.
I've never felt such power.
You feel newfound powers of the Source course wildly through your body. Deep inside your soul, your god calls for you. It would be wise to meet with your god again by performing the Meister's ritual, here or in Siva's vault. The ghost turns to you, her finger urgently pointing towards something unseen. Silent lips move, issuing an urgent, unheard plea. Your hands merge together, your world twisting. Looking down, you see you're holding a barrel marked with a fatal warning. Death fog. A cart contains many barrels more, recovered from a wrecked ship. The room is filled with voices, cracking jokes and swearing oaths as you go about unloading the cart. But somewhere, in the hum of voices, one cuts through the rest. Stop, it hisses. Do your duty. You lift up the death fog, and, fighting against every step, you walk back to the cart. You pass a dwarf, struggling against the voice and winning. But you crack his skull with a barrel in your hands. One by one, the barrels are loaded again, and the cart departs. As it trundles out of the cave, the voice returns, "Come, come to me." And you feel your feet carrying you into the cavern's darkness.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But he made me. That voice, he made me. I let him out of the vault. I killed anyone that got in the way. And then I sat here as he gibbered about needing to complete his bloody Mordecai. Damned if I know. Some ancient ritual, he said. It gave him the power to twist our minds, to turn us into his puppets. And when he was strong enough, it turned him into... that. He thought it was a reward, kept saying how blessed he was. What madness!
The ghost stares down at his broken, twisted body, a look of glum resignation on his face.
It ain't a pretty way to go. Mind you, could be a damn sight better than whatever Lohar would have done if he'd got his hands on us. Mind control or no, he'll be livid when he finds out what we did.
This must be the wreck of the peacemaker.
The spirit hovers before you. It looks into your eyes and reaches out a hand of smoke and gossamer, silently begging you to take it. You feel the boards creak under your boots. The smell of salt and pitch fills your nose. You check the knots securing your cargo, hands moving over rough rope in the darkness. There's a shout from above decks, and then the world turns upside down. You're pitched violently sideways as the planks around you rip apart and black water floods in. The current twists and tears at you, battering you against the ship's cargo. You hang on until a small box comes loose, cracking against your skull as it's dragged away by the torrent. As your vision fades to black, you see the walls shudder as the peacemaker snaps in two. You awake to the flicker of torchlight and the sound of voices. Here, crack this and open. With locks like these, there'll be something good inside. You hear the snap of a latch being broken and a long, low whistle. Get word to Lohar. The Reds are shipping death fog. Send your fastest runner. Go! You lie still for a minute until you feel a rough kick to the ribs. Thought I saw a twitch, says the dwarf, looming over you. Well now, ain't you an unfortunate little flounder? She growls before clamping her hand across your mouth and nose. Sorry, hun, no witnesses allowed. You kick and struggle weakly, desperately trying to catch a breath, but the dwarf's grip is iron. As your vision starts to swim, you see other dwarves moving in the torchlight, hauling your cargo off the ship. You give one last kick and then... darkness. Stepping back from the spirit, the feeling of her panic starts to slowly fade from your mind.
letter with a dwarf seal?
Fine paper. Looks important.
Death fog. Nasty stuff. Overkill for a bunch of scattered rebels, though. Justinia's stooping lower than even I thought possible. Hard to say. That mad doctor Isbale's the one who pulls the Queen's strings. No idea who's pulling hers. All I know is that we don't want death fog catching a ride on the roaring Ark's winds. Long as that stuff's around, no one's safe.
Even dead, I don't get no peace. You need something. What's it look like? Either they were a void-woken attack, or this is the most unfortunate dinner party you ever did see. Now shove off. I've got an afterlife to enjoy, and your jabbering ain't making it easy. Walk on, Bones, I got nothing to say to you.
The dwarf pulls a dagger with shocking dexterity and reflexively swings at your gut. Thankfully, the ephemeral blade passes right through you. With a rancid look, the dwarf pockets the knife. As he does so, you spot the royal seal of the Dwarven Queen on the handle. Through gritted teeth, the dwarf growls.
We're done here.
Don't worry about it, says Lohar. Quietest work around, says Lohar. Well, I don't see him here, cold as the stone he's lying on. It will be fine, my arse. And here I was, the fool, believing him.
The ghost swings a foot to kick its old body in frustration, but the boot sails straight through her corpse.
Because it's his fault. If not for him, I'd still be sitting there, wine in hand, happy as Larry. But no, he knew best. He wanted the death fog destroyed. That's why we were to make sure it got into the right hands. Our hands! I even stood guard of Mordus when he were doing nothing but the Queen's bidding. No wonder we came to this. This is what I deserve for following the orders of a leader with the spine of a sponge. Thank Duna Her Majesty has more steel in her belly than that coward. You're a little tool to be asking questions like that. Her Majesty is trying to do what's best for the dwarf people. And there's not a thing more you need to know.
The lock's melting away. Mordus turned the key into an amulet. Cunning.
I thought this cave couldn't get any more grim.
I do not want to... Look out! I see a trap nearby.
Death, most likely. Watch your step.
Careful! I've spotted a trap.
This shrine fills you with a sense. Your skeleton is still, but your soul floats upwards. You see yourself when you look down, content, safe.